All right, everyone. So we're going to take a look at this very interesting case from France. I'm telling you, people do some wild shit, man. But we already know this. Or maybe you don't know this. And if you don't know, you need to learn that people do some wild shit. And there are no rules in this thing called life, in this game called life. There are no rules. Let's take a look at this.
Verdict is supposed to come down this week in just a horrifying rape case out of France. And before we get to it, I want to warn you, the details are very disturbing. That is Gisèle Pellicot arriving to court with a round of applause from her supporters. Her now ex-husband is on trial.
How old is
accused
this
of drugging
lady?
her with sleeping pills and allowing dozens of men who are also on trial to force themselves on her. The crux of the case is the video evidence, which prosecutors say shows the assaults over the years. Supporters have rallied around Pellicot throughout the trial. This picture is from a women's rights rally outside the court in southern France this past weekend. It says, "Merci Gisèle," French for thank you. I want to bring in Catherine Porter. She's an international correspondent for the New York Times who's been covering this trial. Catherine, thank you for being here. This trial started in September, and in...
All right, so first, how old is this lady? And this has been going on for years. Her own husband has been drugging her and letting men rape her. Hey, is it part of their fetish? Could be a part of their fetish. Well, I guess maybe not if his ass is on trial for it. But it's an interesting world that we live in here. Strange, interesting, fucked up, crazy. You put anything that you want to put right there. But this world that we live in, you guys will come to realize that there are no rules in this. This is your life. You live the life the way that you want to live it. You got control over it. If you want to drug somebody up and shit and have people run the train on them, then you can do that. That's part of your game. Now he got to play the jail game or whatever goes along with it. Let's hear what this lady got to say.
One of the pieces you wrote about it, you said, quote, "For more than 10 weeks, Gisèle Pellicot has sat in a courtroom in Avignon, France, quietly listening to the explanations of 50 men.
10
She's
weeks?
heard most say
50 men?
they were not guilty. How did we get here?"
I never heard of this
Good
trial.
question. I mean,
It's been going for 10 weeks.
The beginning of this case was that her husband of 50 years, Dominique, was caught filming up the skirts of women in a...
First of all, they've been married for 50 years. All right, so yeah, he probably gonna be looking at some other poop. You feel me? But I didn't know he was gonna be filming under people's skirts. That's crazy. And 50 men? Yo. Wow.
local grocery store. And when police took his phones and his cameras, and they also took a laptop from home, they found evidence of photos of a woman who seemed to be drugged and raped. And they believed that her husband was raping her and inviting other men to come and do the same. So they started a very big investigation, and 2 months later arrested him and shocked her by telling her what they had discovered, because she had no idea whatsoever. In fact, she had suffered some kinds of strange symptoms, mostly blackouts, that she had believed were early signs of Alzheimer's or a brain tumor. The reason that this case has taken on such a huge...
Did you go get that checked out? You thought it was a brain tumor. You didn't go get that checked out?
It really shocked the country, is that 50 men have been charged along with her husband in raping her. And she decided at the beginning of the trial to make it public. She wanted, as she said, shame to change sides and France to look rape straight in the eyes. So she opened the courtroom
France
to
is
reporters
very
like
familiar
me,
with rape, I'm
but
sure.
also to regular people in France who have been lining up starting around 6 a.m. every day to get into an overflow room to watch the proceedings.
A point of contention in this case.
So people have been lining up to go in there to see this lady's trial, because it's a very fucking interesting one. I'm telling you, I'm sure it's a very interesting one. Your husband of 50 years drugs you and then let men run the thing on you? Yo, where y'all communication at? Like, shit. Is this part of y'all kink? Like, this shit is crazy for me to think that over this long period of time, over the span of years, that someone that you have been married to for 50 years can let some people come in, can first drug you up continuously, regularly, without your knowledge of it for real, and then have people come in and have intercourse with you. You thought it was early Alzheimer or a tumor? What did you, I hope you went and got that shit checked out. Like, come on now. Some stuff just doesn't make any sense. If you blacking out for this long and then you waking up and shit, you physically feeling different, you know if someone done been running through your tail. Shit, 50 men? 50? Come on. Yeah. You've been getting ganged since forever in your sleep. So you mean to tell me you never noticed anything different physically?
Is France's rape law, which defines rape as a sex act carried out by, quote, violence, coercion, threat, or surprise. But it makes no mention of consent. How has that impacted the testimony in the case as a whole?
I don't think it's impacted the testimony in the case, even though it
everybody knows
consent
major
is key
anything they got to do with
in
rape.
most of
Consent is
defense.
imperative.
They say that they believed that she had
or lack
consented,
of consent.
and
Come
they
on
say
now.
that they were lured to the house by her husband, who was promising a playful kind of threesome between the three of them, and that she was pretending to sleep. So a lot of the questioning by the judge is whether
look
they
at
had
this
gotten
lady.
consent from her.
Who
they
the
had
hell
spoken
is
to her.
coming over
Consent
there
is
to
always at
damn?
the heart of these type of trials that are typically he said, she
Really?
said. The difference, as you said, in this case is there are
I
thousands,
don't know. Maybe it's just
tens
me.
of thousands
I
of
don't know.
videos and photos that her husband took and cataloged throughout the almost a decade.
What these
So,
guys look like?
you know, there
somebody
is a debate
throw
within
some pictures of
French
these guys
feminists
up in
about
the
whether
chat,
they should
or
include the
tag
word
me or send me some more
consent in the law,
information
and
on this particular
this
trial
concept
right
of a
here, this
positive
case,
consent
so
that
we
needs
can
to be
dive into it some
continual.
more.
But I will tell you there are many feminist lawyers who are pushing back, who believe that the law as it is very good, and that it's not applied as much, and that the focus should always be on the men and their actions.
All right, yeah. Focus should be on the men and their actions. That's absolutely correct. Whatever she just said. But anyway, this case is amazing. But I highlighted this case to say that there are no rules in this game called life. There are no rules for real. They're the universal ones. What goes up must come down. Gravity is a thing. Blase, blase, right? But there are no real rules except for the ones that we make up on our own and we decide to follow. This life thing is a game. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner we realize that, then we can start playing the game however we want to. Facts. We will get more into that later. Hey, thanks for tuning in. This is my new thing, The Meaning. Hey, fuck being positive, let's be real. That's my motto.